Hello, all you crazy people out there. My name is Michael. I like wizards and dragons and making games, and I think it is safe to say that we are now coming down to the final stretch of this year Bullet Hell game. All of the mechanics are in. Obviously, all the main mechanics are in. Most, if not all, the final character and enemy artwork is in. There might be some changes that get made to. Whoa. There might be some. I didn't play that very well. There might be some changes that get made to the faux designs before everything is all said and done. But I think other than that, the bosses, the player model, and everything like that is all but finished. You can see what the boss B enemies look like right now. This is some artwork that I commissioned from one of my game dev friends, and also the player is a dragonfly slash damselfly slash. Dragonflies only have one set of wings, and we did agree that it would look cooler for it to have two, so we're gonna have to compromise somewhere between them. Anyway, I think I said anyway in the last video that I would be doing achievement shenanigans today, and I'm honestly not sold on that right now. I'd like to have this game finished by about the end of November, and if I have to push that back to the end of December, then fine. But I don't want to push it back farther than that, and that would be about 4 more weeks slash maybe about 4 more hours of development time that we would have. And I'm going to leave that up to you. If you all want to see an achievement system in this game before we chip, and if you want to throw down some ideas for what those achievements could be, make your opinion heard in the comments. I'm okay with, and I said this the last time I did a game on a YouTube series, I'm okay with some achievements being numbers I don't know, kill 100 foes or whatever, but I don't want them all to be that. I want some of them to be more either progression related, like clear 6 levels, clear 12 levels, or something that actually is a little bit more involved, like clear a level in under, say, a minute and 20 seconds or so. Or they can even be more targeted than that and clear level 10 in less than a minute and 20 seconds or so. I think achievement systems are fun, but I don't think they make or break a game. If you want to see time dedicated to that in the next few weeks, shout, and that'll probably push the finish time of this game back by another week or two. And the other thing that I'm suddenly thinking about cutting actually are the pickups. That's partially because I'm gonna have to design visuals for pickups and that sort of thing, and also partially because I just don't honestly think they're that interesting. I don't think they really add a ton to the game, and that could just be because I basically been playing with them all for the last 3 months because they won't render on the screen and I can't see when I pick one up or whatever. But I just feel like they don't add that much to the game, and I feel like the game is all right without having the player chasing down damage buffs and whatever. And I think that in a lot of ways, the upgrade system has sort of superseded pickup upgrades anyway. So we're going to do some game design via democracy in the comments of this video. If you want to see pickup designs, if you want to see pickups kept in the final game, make some arguments in favor of that. If you want them to be cut, which is the direction that I'm suddenly leaning somewhat heavily towards, you can also make some arguments in favor of that as well. And depending on what happens, the visual designs for them are something that I would probably do off recording because I don't want to spend a lot of time on that and on video, and that would be slow and monotonous and so on and so forth. But anyway, today I'm going to be taking out some more backlogged items. I threw a bunch of them in the in progress column over here. These audio tasks in the testing category are also sort of first on the cutting room floor. I don't know if I'm going to bother with, obviously pickup effect wears off and that sort of sound effect won't be relevant if they get cut entirely, but there's more pressing matters at hand. So firstly, and I try to put these sort of in order of importance, and also in order of how easy it would be just to do them. It would be nice if the game could automatically pause when the window loses focus during gameplay, and that is something that could be done in one line. By the way, I did make one change off recording, besides just updating GameMaker as per tradition. But there is a release config, and I've set the default health to infinity for testing purposes. And when we're running the game in release under the release config, the default health is set to 3. That's just so that when I send the game to people to play with and to test, if they're looking for a specific if they're looking to test a specific thing, they don't have to worry about dying constantly. And we can do our updated game maker commit, and we can do our... And I'm probably going to stay on this version of Game Maker for the rest of the month and a half or so of this game's development, 2022.9. I might shift to the LTS version if that comes out in a timely manner, in a timely fashion, but player default health is configurable. So let's get to pausing the game when the window loses focus. So that's whenever I either accidentally or on purpose click out of the game window, just so that it's, you don't, like, if the player does it on purpose especially, they don't receive a nasty shock where, I don't know, they die or something like that, or take damage because they suddenly lost their concentration. So in the I'm going to close all of these unnecessary window events. In the step event, if self.state equals game state.playing, we can say if not window has focus, then we can do something, and that will be to pause the game. And that should just be self.pause. And now, all right, if you want it to really be a one-line fix, we can just do this in line. Like that. So if I were to start the game, let's say level 1, and then if I were to like bring over some other window over here, let's say I accidentally clicked out of it, or this is somewhat more of a thing when you're in full screen. If I go into full screen mode, and OBS is going to take a moment to catch up, and if I were to click on something outside the window, that's easy mistake to make if you have multiple monitors. The game should be able to automatically pause. And there's still the matter of the screen being scaled incorrectly when you're in full screen mode, and also just when you're when you have the game window being bigger than I have kind of set it to be, like for development purposes. But I can fix that bug later too. Window has focus is a really nice function to have at your disposal. So that can just be checked off. Second, someone made a comment to me. My art friend Moonin made a comment to me that a second directional light on the 3D scene would be a little bit nice, so that you can sort of see where everything is a little bit better. And let's see, what is the 3D shader that we're using? SHD_world. We've got ourselves a light direction that's hard-coded. If I were to add a second one, say vec3 light secondary is going to be equal to normalize, and instead of shining down from the lower right to the upper left and downwards, we can shine this from, say, the lower left to the upper right and downwards, maybe, and we can start with that. The direction isn't something I'm like hugely obsessed with, but float n.l2, we can call it, is going to be the dot of the light secondary. My font is small again. And we can also just edit the v_v color value to be, I think, let's see, I'm also gonna max of this value and 0, max of this value and 0, and then we can say we can add the two light source values together, n.l2, and this is gonna need to be min of those two values and 1.0. I don't think... Oh, it does have a clamp. GLSL does have a clamp function. Well, the lower bound of this clamped value can be the ambient light color, and the upper bound can be 1. All right, this should give us a second light, and the shader compiler doesn't like that. Why don't you? Oh, there's a stray closed parentheses there. Would have been nice if it pointed to line 17 instead of line 16, but, you know. Alright, so everything is definitely a little bit brighter now. That's not... I don't really like that. We can make the secondary light less... we can make the secondary light a little bit dimmer. And that is something that I've done a few times in... Alright, that's better. That's definitely better. It's not like the bottom of every shape is, like, completely washed out now. And if you're a big, like, filmmaking fanatic and you're interested in three-point lighting, we could add a light tertiary, or we could just say that the ambient light color is the third light source. I feel like that's good enough for now. If you've got any strong opinions on that, again, do democracy in the comments. Why was the, like, metadata? Oh, the empty tags field was removed because GameMaker updated and doesn't save the tags field if it's empty anymore. Whatever. So that is a relatively easy task. Yeah, whatever, we can say that was 5 points. When you return to the game from the pause screen to a 3, 2, 1 countdown, that is another ideal that I borrowed / in the process of stealing from Koopamet's Bullet Heaven. It's a bit of a convenience thing. If I were to jump back in here and show you exactly what this looks like, and as you can see, I have been playing a decent amount of this game on my own since then. But can we set this on easy? Because I don't want to die when I'm trying to demo something. If I were to go into level 1-1, once we get past the story exposition, there's a ready, and then there is there's not a 3, 2, 1 countdown, but there is a bit of a about 3 seconds before you start playing. Here again, if I were to deactivate the game window and drag something else in front of it, either let's say my mouse cursor goes off screen by accident or something like that, the game will pause automatically, as you can see. And also, when I go back into it, 3, 2, 1, and that gives the player time to put the mouse cursor back in position when they restart, which is something that I like, because a lot of the times I do pause the game and then I do lose track of where my cursor is when I restart it, and it would generally be a nice thing to not have to worry about that. So we can get out of there. And hopefully now you see what I mean. Let's see. When you unpause, and really can get that off screen right now. When you unpause, we set our state to game state stop playing, and let's see. I think I can actually use a fancy call later. Function call over here, and this will allow us to set the period to 3. Units can be time, source, units, seconds. The callback can be basically what we're doing here. And what's the last parameter? Repeat. That's optional. I think that's going to default to false. So this is going to give us a 3-second, a 3-second countdown before we actually do this. If I were to... Someone knocking on the door. Alright, with that out of the way, right now the only thing that this will do is, we'll linger in the pause menu for 3 seconds after clicking the button. Not entirely what you want, but, let's see, we can do a few things such as, hiding the pause screen, and this shouldn't cause any problems. This will at least cause the menu to stop being drawn, and we will be able to, see the cursor, and then if I say resume, and okay, so that's fine, I guess. if this is not equal to... There we go. So we can only render the pause screen if there is a pause screen. I'm surprised I didn't write it like that the first time, but I guess I did not expect there to be ever a situation where the game was paused and there was no pause screen. Let's see. Next, I'm going to want to actually like draw a 3, 2, 1 countdown of sorts, and we can actually well, there's the sane way and the gross way of doing this. We can get the value of a time source with like time source get time remaining, and we can also save a call later call to a variable. We can say self.countdown time source is going to equal let's say -1 for now. And when we resume the game, we can set this this time source, the call later time source, to this value. When it goes off, we can unset this, and I think if is paused, pause screen is not equal to that if this is not equal to -1. So if we are in a current countdown state, which isn't like a real state, but if we have a countdown timer active, what was it? Time source get time remaining. And this is going to be it's not going to look very good, but we should at least see that something's happening. I can make it look good later on. Let's see. We're going to pause the game, and the game controller.countdown time source not set before reading it. Are you kidding me? I literally copied and pasted that. Oh, did I delete it? I deleted it. Why am I bad at game dev? Alright, pause, resume. This is a more interesting value. Okay, so can we not use those functions on just like simple call later time sources? That might be the case. In that case, we'll just have to do it the long way. Unit seconds, the callback function, and then I don't think we need to do anything else. Time source destroy. We will, however, have to start it manually. Alright, so that's one of the limitations of call later. You're not really supposed to use them like a full proper time source, I guess. 3, 2, 1. Alright. So, to make this look a little better, you might have noticed in Bullet Heaven that the 3, 2, 1 countdown was a little bit on the big side. So to do that, I can... Where is graphical stuff? UI, font game, buttons, font game. We can make a font game huge, and this can be like size 80 or so, maybe. Oh, you know what I should do at some point is I'm using Calibri for the fonts in this game for the UI, because I think it looks nice. And I think I brought this up in Bombardier also, but the licensing on the default Windows fonts is a little bit, well, more restrictive than people think it is. Like, you're allowed to use Calibri when you're writing essays and writing papers and stuff like that, but if you're shipping a game with one of the default Windows fonts, it's a little bit more on the side of you probably should use it on another font because licensing. There's Open Sans as a popular like equivalent to Calibri and some of the other ones, and I'll probably the next thing I do once I get this in, because I don't want to get distracted from it, is change the fonts in the game to Open Sans. It's approximately the same size. You might have to do a little bit of magic to make it fit, but draw set font. And I can also, I guess, draw set color. Reset the color. Don't think I have to reset the font, but because like not because GameMaker will automatically do that for me, but because I think the next time I draw anything, it's automatically like my code already sets it anyway. And this should also be reset. This should also have the value reset when I'm done. I don't remember what that is offhand. So I'll just I'll get them programmatically and set them there. And lastly, because the time source get time remaining will return a floating point number, let's round this up. Let's seal that, and that will cause us to draw 3, 2, 1 as whole numbers. All right. It's still not really centered properly. Looks good other than that. I think I might want to say. I like the way that I did UI in this game, but I also don't. Because, like, the game... Like, the actual, like, game area is... Now it's centered. Is, like... This oddly proportioned rectangle over here, and then the stuff on the side is, like, extra, and it's being drawn outside the view and whatever. Yeah... That probably made my life harder than it had to if I just like did game UI normally, but anyway. We've now got this. I think I can not commit the old .pings in the font properties. GameMaker creates backups of fonts when you change them just in case like something goes wrong. I've never seen anything with a font go wrong. Like that couldn't be fixed just by clearing the compile cache, but whatever. When you resume the game. It would be nice if it had an outline. If I get through, like, these items faster than I expect, or maybe if I get through some of the other items in this faster than I expect, I will just drag Scribble into this program. Because I haven't done that yet, because I don't really, like, need it. But Scribble does do some nice things like automatically outlining fonts for you. And I think that would make the 3, 2, 1 countdown like a little bit more adamant. In fact, if I were to make this even bigger, it's bigger than Microsoft Word 2003 would allow you to go. We can make that bigger. And also, I guess I said I'd do this now. Where's Open Sans? Open Sans. That's a little bit wider. So if I were to use Open Sans Condensed. Alright, that doesn't give a bold option. Light is like really, yeah. Extra bold would be a bit much. Alright, well, I'll make Font Game Huge the regular default bold option, and Font Game Buttons, which is what pretty much everything else in the game uses. Scroll past it, Open Sans Condensed. Alright, it's still a little bit wider, but I think, and I will clear the compile cache after making those changes. I think it should still fit on buttons and stuff. I do like caliber slightly better, but yeah, that is a smidge annoying. The font width. The hovered version of the same button. All right. That way, when you hover over them, the border won't magically change size. All right, that's fine. Let me just go into the settings menu and make sure that it looks correct wherever you do this. Yeah, all right. Let's see. I can close that. I can get rid of the old pings, and we can use the safe font over there. Let's see. Wasn't part of the board here, but we can dedicate time to it today anyway. 3, 2, 1 countdown when you begin a level. That's going to be similar. Let's see. Is there a start level? Erase current save. If there's a start level method in the game controller, I'll do something else. Go to level. Okay. There's a room start. Room start. Okay, so I think maybe we can again call later. Self dot. Wait, this is gonna be 3. And this is also going to be converted to a full-time source after I get the prototypical version working. I think I can just the end of level screen should be cleared as soon as you start a level. Obviously, I think I can just do this. Let's see. This should allow me to move the player around. Nope. That. Oh, I think I know what's going on. That all that did is defer it by a frame. Because in the level update, if there's no enemies left on screen and there's still waves to send, it will just send in another one. So that'll just all that will do is defer this to the next frame. Instead, if I have a little variable that says ready to go, initialize that to false, and then set that to true when the timer goes off. That should prevent the levels update from running until then. Oh, that's also gonna cancel the background scrolling? That's weird. I don't want that. All right, let's move this to... Let's move that to another method. We can have this not scroll also if the game is paused. And then... in the step event, for example, we can scroll the background independently. All right, we're scrolling, and after 3 seconds, we will fade in. Everything's ready to go. All right, off to a good start. Background scroll is separated from the level update. I think that'll also make it easier to do a title screen background visuals also because on the title screen we can just have like a title screen, I'm making air quotes, level, but we can just never set the ready to go flag to true. Anyway, now to convert this to a real time source. So the way that that's going to work is I'll make that a separate one. I'll make that level countdown time source because if the player pauses the game during the level start, I don't want that to. You know what? If the player pauses the game during the 3, 2, 1, I can just like clear whatever existing time source is because it's going to do a 3, 2, 1 anyway. I think I'll do that. That'll make it a little smoother. Let's see. I don't need any of this. We're gonna say time source start. I can also say, and this shouldn't ever happen. Did I spell destroy wrong? What? Apparently I did. So if there's a time source that's currently, like, running, which should never happen, we'll just kill it before moving on. And the same thing can happen over here and over here. Let's see. This will also be relevant even if the game is not paused now. So there's a 3, 2, 1, and all right, so interesting. If I hit escape while that's happening, it like restarts, which isn't really what I want. All right, that's like 50% of the way there. Let's see. When you pause the game, we're probably gonna want to delete this as well. And that should prevent the 3, 2, 1 from being drawn on top of the pause menu, because that's kind of awkward. Why? Okay, right. Alright, setting it to -1 there doesn't make sense, but setting it to -1 when you do pause the game makes sense. This took longer than I thought it would, although it still wasn't that bad. That's fine. If I can figure out why when you hit escape there it restarts. I know why. It's because you're still like unpausing the game when that happens. We can also pause the level action this way. I really hope this doesn't cause issues. Like, alright, why is it not destroyed there? It should be being destroyed. Yeah, alright. I don't like that. I'm not gonna do it that way. Where is... Alright, I also need, after the 3, 2, 1 countdown, I need the time source to destroy itself so that we don't have a 0 on screen. 3, 2, 1, and it's still not like... There's so many steps to this. Admittedly, this is at least partially because of making this more complicated than it has to be. So we can, 1, test it by pausing the game and interrupting. you can repause the game in the middle of this 3, 2, 1 countdown. Which I'm okay with, honestly. And then... Hang on, wait. I want to make sure that everything, like, gets going again properly. The enemies aren't moving in. Why are they not moving in? Hang on. Alright, if I don't play with pause and unpause... 3, 2, 1. Alright, you come in there correctly. But if I do it here... Oh god. I need that to not happen. Project management for this game hasn't been too bad, but there have been times when if I had a whiteboard at my disposal, I really would have appreciated it. Alright. The bullets are staying still. That's good, because we're still technically paused. And... I think I know why... Hang on, I want to get it like in the middle of a wave transition. Now. Alright, so you should still follow your paths in, right? Yeah, you do. Alright, I think I know why it wasn't, like, starting. And that was because... in this being... like... cancelled... at the start of a level, this was never set to true. So if I just set that to true over here... make sure that the level is set to true over there. And I don't want to send to the next wave when you unpause the game, because that would... possibly... Alright, there we go. We're coming on in. I don't want to automatically send in a wave here, because that would possibly like cause waves to like double up on themselves if you automatically sent in the next wave every time you unpause the game. Obviously not something you want to have happen in a game, but I do need to set the ready to go flag to true. So I think that's everything I need here. 3, 2, 1. When a level starts. And I can check that off, and I can also check that off. Let's see. Next, greater amount of bullet spread on homing bullets so that they don't appear to pile on top of each other. There's a couple ways that could be achieved. One is homing. We could set the... I know there's a definition for default spread somewhere. It might be in the wasp. The thing that shoots them. Homing amount. I could reduce this. But I think that would make them, like, less difficult. Let me see. Let me let me run level 6 for this. Alright, they're definitely not piling up as much. They're still coming after. That actually isn't bad. I thought having them spread less like that would trivialize them. I was thinking increase the spread as in like the angle of the fan that the wasps shoot out, but I think this will do it. And it definitely doesn't look like they're piling up on each other anymore. All right. We can check that off. Background, foreground resolution scales don't do anything. Setting for density of background objects, background for title screen, remaining level backgrounds, backgrounds for other level types. This might be enough for an entire video on its own later. Are there any other backlog items here? Burn duration upgrade crashes the game. Is that still the case? I want to check that, because that's something that I'll do now, if it's still the case. Alright, I played through a little more so that we can upgrade the fire ability again, and I'm not seeing it crashing the game. I think it was an error message that popped up when I wrote that, and I guess that's been fixed because I'm not seeing it anymore. Anyway, I don't want to spend any more time doing this than I have to. Let's see. I'm actually having fun with this. Like, I want to keep playing, even though it is unfinished in a lot of ways. And I might be a little biased because I did make it, but I'm feeling more like I want to keep playing a little bit more than I did with Bombardier, which is a little bit of a shame, but you know what? Development for this has definitely been a little bit nicer, so I'm gonna assume that this has either been already addressed. Oh, variable.duration cannot be resolved. That was nice. I even posted the error message in the description over here. Let me just do a quick look to make sure that upgrades get sub up in burn capacity. Alright, duration is definitely defined. I might have I wonder if instead of fixing this and moving it to the finished column, I accidentally sent it to the backlog without paying attention or something. Sent to board. Alright, I'm gonna guess that was in the backlog by accident, because it does appear that I've already fixed that. Alright. Chasing enemies flocking. Alright, I think this might be the last thing I do today. When bagworms blow up, allow their bullets to damage enemies too. I thought about this. I decided not to do it, because I thought that might, trivialize taking on the levels where there's a lot of bagworms if they're going to do a sizable chunk of damage to their friends anyway. But I've had a few people suggest to me that that would actually be a lot of fun. So I think I might as well just do it. Game design via democracy, after all. Where is the bagworm? The things that can explode. I think there's another enemy type that explodes too. Is it the scarabs that explode? So bullets, whether they damage you or the enemy is determined by their friendly flag down here. And if I were to set that to true... Alright, I had to think about that. I was going to do one thing, and that was basically going to be to spawn 2 bullets, one that is friendly and one that is not. And then I decided that that would actually be a really dumb idea. So I think what I'll do instead is just shot.friendly equals -1. Where are all the places where this is red? Okay, that might actually be all I need to do, because all we're doing is checking to see if self.friendly and the bullet.friendly that hits us are the same. Alright, that actually might be the simplest solution, is just to set that to -1. Oh, it's level 2. So if I don't do anything except attack you... Nice. Alright. Well, I feel like that'll be appreciated on later levels. People seem to really think that would be a good way to have chaos unfold. And who am I to go against chaos? Let's see, if I were to really get you guys in a situation where you have a lot of things around you. Like, these are never going to do enough to take down anything in one shot. If something's already taken damage, it could be enough to take it down. Ooh, took damage from something. If something hasn't taken damage, it will obviously make them easier to, slightly easier to deal with later on for you, because we will be, starting off basically with less HP. I'm curious. Alright, so the guy who was sitting over here on the west side of the compass rose was apparently damaged enough to be taken down. You sitting in the back of a bunch of like rows of enemies. That actually was really good. I have to say, that is very satisfying. We're gonna leave that like that. Alright, I'm glad that my vote has been overruled on that. And not wanting to do that, because I think that actually is a bit of fun. Let's see. And if it proves to upset the balance later on, like, I can rebalance it. I can make I can add some special code to cause the bullets to do less damage to the enemies if they're shot by a bagram or something like that. But for now, we'll go with that. And also, the player, every time you start a level, the player will like shoot one shot because the mouse is down when you click the button, and then when the mouse is down in the level, the player shoots. How do I want to do this? What did I give the level structs? Like an activated? The ready to go. Alright. And that starts out as false. Let's see. When you shoot, if game control.level.ready to go. So if the level is ready to go, then you should be able to shoot. The only other place that comes into play is when you unpause the game. Alright, level hasn't started, I can't shoot yet, and then level starts, I can't shoot. Alright. Same is gonna apply on the countdown over here. Okay, this is nice. I love these one-line fixes. And there may well come a time and place where I discover that this has, that there's more to this issue, and later on, it won't just be a one-line fix, but for now, it's good enough. Did I again not push the last week's work? I guess I didn't. It's annoying. I don't know why I keep forgetting to do that. But there was one other thing. Oh yeah, disabling these. I'm not going to delete the code. But I will... I will backlog them, and I will, in the enemy die... Where's the template? Alright, so that's all handled in here. Here. Alright. I feel kind of bad because I spent a video or two at the beginning of the series implementing this whole system, but I don't think the game really needs it, and I haven't spent time balancing it, and I just want to disable it for now. If you want to see pickup drops later on, post in the comments, and also your reasons, and also hopefully some ideas on ways that they could be integrated nicely. But pickup drop sounds oxymoronic, but we'll be disabling that for now. And with that, we are going to end this off. I'm going to push all these commits up to GitHub. So next time, I am going to be dealing with visuals, so that's going to be both technical things like making the making the screen scale nicely at different sizes, and also just like aesthetic things like actually having things visible on the title screen. And also, I do want to have different like bullet shapes that are more interesting than just colored circles. I'll probably have that next time as well. Do I have a card for that, or do I have to add one myself? This is probably just going to be sprites. I'm not going to do 3D objects for this because that would be inefficient, because if there's going to be hundreds of bullets on screen at once, I don't want to have hundreds of 3D draw calls. But there'll be sprites. Sprites are going to be fine, I think. So, my name is Michael. I like Wizards and Dragons and making games. If you want the code for this, look for the GitHub repository over here down in the video description. Look for the 0.35 release. I'm getting a little bit desperate for these titles here, as you can tell. I hope you all found this interesting, and I will see you all later. Special thanks to Army Armbuster, DJ Gibbles, Edward Holt, Game Maker, Harold Gidry, Kiexi, Sindra Larson, Squarecrow, The Oz, and Zenzerman for supporting these videos. If you want to contribute to the channel, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.